Words are divided into different categories depending on their use and function. These categories are what we like to call the parts of speech. There are 8 parts of speech in the English language: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, conjunctions, prepositions, and interjections. Today, we'll actually be talking about gerunds, participles, and infinitives. Now, you're probably wondering how those are related to the parts of speech, right? Well, for the sake of understanding these concepts, just think of those 3 as various ways in which the different parts of speech can be used. In other words, the main parts of speech are your tools, and our 3 topics for today are the projects you need the tools for. A gerund is a word that is created with a verb but functions as a noun, always ending in ing. Being used as a noun, a gerund can function as a subject complement, a direct object, an indirect object, or an object of a preposition. It's important to note that though gerunds may look a lot like present participles, they are not the same thing. Gerunds are specifically placed in the noun position of a sentence, whereas present participles are placed with the verb phrase, usually as modifiers. Here is an example of a gerund in the subject position. Brushing your hair prevents it from tangling. In this sentence, the word brushing is the gerund functioning as the subject of the sentence. If a gerund were to be the complement of a subject in a sentence, it would look like this. Her number 1 priority is working. Working is functioning as a complement to the subject, priority. Here's an example where the gerund is the object of a preposition. There is no use in standing in the line for 3 hours, Grandma said. In this sentence, standing follows the preposition in, making it the object of the preposition. Gerunds can also function as the object of a sentence. Very similar to gerunds are participles. Participles are words created from verbs that are then used as adjectives to modify nouns in a sentence. They can also be used as introductions to adverbial phrases. There are present and past participles. Present participles always end in ing and correlate to events taking place in the current tense. The past participle can be either regular or irregular and refers to events that have already happened. Differentiating between participles and gerunds can be a little tricky sometimes because participles can actually function as gerunds. For our purposes today, we're going to take a look at some rather straightforward examples. When using a participle as an adjective, you might come across a sentence like this. The browning fruit should be put outside for composting. Browning is a present participle, noted by the ing ending, that is modifying the noun fruit. I spent the whole day studying math. In this sentence, studying is a present participle that is working as the beginning of an adverbial phrase in the sentence. The phrase studying math is modifying the verb spent. How did I spend the whole day? Studying math. Both of those examples were present participles, meaning the words ended in ing to denote something happening in the current time. As mentioned, there are such things as past participles. Past participles can have varied word endings depending on the word being used. Most commonly, you will see d or ed added to the end of a word. Let's look at a couple of examples. The windows were cracked when the rainstorm came through. Here, the word cracked is the past participle working as an adjective to modify the noun windows. He continued forward, cautioned by the desolate streets. Cautioned is the past participle in this sentence, functioning as the beginning of an adverbial phrase describing the word continued. Additionally, participles can also appear as multi-part verbs. The multi comes from attaching an auxiliary verb or helping verb to the main verb being used in the sentence. Joanne was baking fresh cookies for her grandkids. In this sentence, only one helping verb is used, was. It is paired with the participle baking to create a multi-part verb. Joanne has been baking all morning. The helping verb in the sentence has been participle baking. Joanne would have been reading all morning if her grandkids hadn't said they were coming over. Helping verb would have been participle reading. Knowing how to form different endings of the participles allows for a variety of meanings to be conveyed. Unlike gerunds and participles, infinitives do not change their endings. They are always in the simple singular form. Infinitives are singular verbs usually preceded by the word to. They do not have any specific suffixes, they're just simple in nature. In other words, the verbs are unconjugated. Infinitives can be used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. Most likely, when you're dealing with infinitives, you'll be dealing with the present infinitive. That's what we'll be looking at today. The to is used with the infinitive to show the purpose of something or maybe to express someone's opinion. Let's take a look at some examples of infinitives. Noun, Josh wants to study as soon as he gets home from school. Adjective, today she wants to show Josh a new game to play. Adverb, Josh played the new game with his sister instead of studying to make her happy. We've discussed quite a bit today. Remember, gerunds are words that are formed from verbs and used as nouns, always ending in ing. Participles are words created from verbs that can be used as adjectives or an adverbial phrase, also ending in ing, unless expressing past tense. And infinitives are verbs that take the simple tense and follow the preposition to. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson of the parts of speech. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for further videos. Until next time.